Okay, I decided to do a new video because I wasn't thrilled with the one that I'd made before. So we're going to go over sample, variation, and standard deviation. So notice that we're talking about for a sample. And I'm going to show you how to do this also for a population. But let's just start with the sample, and I'll show you that the population is almost exactly the same except for one thing. So what you're going to do is you're going to look at your formula and see that we're going to sum the x squares up and we're going to sum the x's up. So since I already have our x's or data points, since I already have them here, I'm going to go ahead and sum those up. 18 plus 27 plus 11 plus 30 plus 17. So when you sum those up, you're going to get, let me get a different color here. You're going to get 103. So what that represents are your sum of x's. Okay? And so what we're going to do is we need the sum of our x's and we need to square that number. So if you take 103 and square it, you will get 10,609. Okay, so we're on our way to getting the variance. Now we're going to sum our x squares, but before we can sum those, we have to square our x's. So you're going to do 18 squared, which is going to be 324. You're going to do 27 squared, which is going to be 729. 11 squared, which is 121. 30 squared, which is 900. And you're going to do 17 squared, which is 289. So we have to sum our x squares, and when you do that, you're going to get 2,363, and that equals the sum of our x squares. So now we just need to plug in to our formula. So for the variance, we're going to do s squared, and we need the sum of x squares. So the sum of x squares is this number right here, the 2363. And next we need our sum of our x's that we squared after we added them, which is this number here. And then if you look in the formula, it says divided by n. Well, n is, let's see, n is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or n is 5, and then over 5 minus 1. So what you want to do is you don't want to round it until you get to the end here. So you can do 2363 minus, when you do the 10,609 divided by 5. So you can put all that in your calculator at once if you have like a TI-83. Or you can try it piece by piece and still get it. But you should, or you can use Excel, you should get 241.2 and divide that by, I think any scientific calculator will do it. Divide that by 5 minus 1, which is 4. And once you do that, I believe you get 241.2 divided by 4 is 60.3. Okay, so 60.3 is your variance. Now, to get your standard deviation, all you have to do is take the square root of your variance. So when you do that, you get, I'm rounding here, you get 7.77 for your standard deviation and 60.3 for your variance. And that's for a sample. Now, if this was not a sample, the only thing that would be different is right here. Instead of it being n minus 1 in the denominator, it's going to be n because it's for the population. We're not going to subtract 1. So when you would get to this step right here, instead of dividing by 5 minus 1, you would just divide by 5. That is the only difference when you're calculating the population. The standard deviation for the population variance. For the standard deviation, you're still going to take the square root of the variance. So I hope that this video is a little bit more clear and easier to see than the previous video, but just let me know if you have any questions.